Hi. So last month I did a bunch of alterations, sort of, and made another pinafore because, as you saw, my last red pinafore didn't turn out. It ended up going to my sister. One of the alterations was to take the midsection out of the red pinafore that I gave to my sister to make it shorter so she could fit in it, and also give it a new red zipper, which she liked. She appreciated it. I can't show it to you because she's got it, and at the time of filming this, she's asleep. So I thought, why not just take you through some of the other outfits I made and altered. And I did just shoot some B-roll footage of them, so they'll go up as I'm talking. And yeah, so let's start with this green skirt that I got from a vintage shop. It's this green, it's kind of like a plaid skirt, it's plaid, evidently why I bought it. And it had a waistband on it that had little belt loops and a really nice brown button to close it. Unfortunately, this skirt ended up being a bit too small. What was considered a size 10 in just like the 80s when flared wool skirts were out is not a size 10 anymore, as it was too tight. And initially what I did was I trimmed the skirt and added some of the fabric I got from the skirt into the waistband to make the waistband slightly bigger. But then that was still too tight. So this time what I did was I took the entire waistband out. I went through my fabric stash trying to find some fabric that was either more of this green plaid, which I couldn't find, or similar in texture. What I found was this green fabric, which is, I don't even know what the sort of fabric is, but it's got this nice detailing on it. Yeah, so I then cut it to my measurement, my waist measurement. I did end up putting a side seam in because the scrap I had wasn't quite wide enough. So I cut two pieces in the length and thickness I wanted, folded it in half, stitched off the edges and the middle, and stitched up the middle, then folded it in half and stitched the edges, then put it against the inner seam of the waistband of the skirt, stitched it in place, then folded it over and stitched the front part. The zipper I hand stitched in one of the times that I made it to give it a better looking zipper, because the initial time I remade it, because the zipper was also broken when I bought the skirt, the other time I remade it, the zipper was too chunky and just kind of bubbled and it was gross. So I restitched it by hand, so I wasn't going to undo my hand stitching. I'm incredibly proud of my hand stitching. Look at that! You could almost think it's machine sewn, but it's hand sewn. It's amazing. Yeah, so I didn't take that out, but I made sure to put the waistband over the top of the zipper so that it closed. Then what I did was I got one of these hooks and bars and stitched those on with some blanket stitches, because I'm very into stitching fastenings with blanket stitches. I'm very good at blanket stitches. Yeah, and then the skirt's been hemmed already and things, so this will be fun to wear now because it's comfortable. I actually made a small little coatie out of this fabric. Maybe I have a matching set now. I can probably use the leftover skirt fabric from the skirt I made to go with that coatie to make the coaties longer, the sleeves longer. Make a little jacket to go with the skirt. That would be fun. But I would have to line the sleeves because this fabric is very coarse and will make me irritated. So yeah. So insert some B-roll of me wearing this skirt and showing it off, because yeah. next thing I made, or altered, this is a video of alterations to start with, a couple years ago I made a halter dress, this halter dress. It was like a 50s halter dress. It was using a McCall's pattern, I believe. It's the first time I used a McCall's pattern. I made out of this beautiful blue-green fabric with some nice blue lining. And it was great. I French seamed for the first time. Look at that French seam. Look at that French seam. Look at it. So beautiful. I French seamed for the first time. I didn't French seam the outer fabric though. Yeah. I don't know if you can tell from the picture, but the midsection of the halter dress was too tight. And it only got tighter. I wore this dress going out for my birthday last year, I believe it was. And, yeah, it was a bit hard to breathe. So I put it in my cupboard and never wore it again. Until I came up with the idea to cut off the skirt and make it into a standalone skirt. Which I did. So it was basically easy. I just measured it to the length that I wanted. So roughly 60 centimeters is the length my skirts usually go. Mostly because if I were to cut it and then and if I were to cut it where the natural waist would be, it'd probably end up being too short. So I cut it at 60 centimeters. And then a clever thing I did while we were watching South Pacific, which when I rewatch that with my sister, I will be sure to review it, much to my father's dismay. He hates that musical. We were watching South Pacific and I measured out the halter straps and turned them into a waistband, because why not? It's already lined. So yes, this set of buttons that I so nicely hand stitched on and the buttonholes that I machine stitched are from the halter straps of this dress. I just moved the buttons in because otherwise it would look weird, and then stitched it to the skirt, attached a different zipper, which ends up being a little longer than the actual skirt, but I can't be bothered to unpick where the zipper ends, so it's fine. It opens fine anyway. Yeah, so new zipper, waistband. It does have a seam right in the middle, but if you don't look too closely, you can't tell. So yeah, and the waistband is a little wobbly, but it's fine. Who's going to insult or critique it? So yeah, now I will wear this skirt more often, probably in summer because it's a bit light. I don't think I can fit a petticoat under it, so it won't be very good in winter, but summer skirt. Insert B-roll of me wearing this skirt and showing it off. My next item is the red pinafore, take 2. This time I made it convertible basically. So we've got skirt with some nice gauze that kind of make it flare out more, with detachable bib. Which I had this idea one time when I was asleep and couldn't stop thinking about it. I thought this would be a great idea because my primary school used to do that. The detachable bib to the pinafores. So also my bib is reversible. It can be black or it can be red, hence the black gauze. It's totally not because I ran out of fabric. But yeah, ta-da! So So the buttons are these beautiful buttons that I think my mum found. Beautiful. My battery is gonna run out. That's great. B-roll of me wearing said dress. Pinafore with bib on and off and black. I also altered a shirt my sister had so it would fit her better. Yeah, I decided I wanted to do a month in sewing in just one video, because I don't necessarily like the placement of my sewing machine, and having to pull the camera out all the time from my room where I record my sit down and talk videos is very taxing. So I'll film clips and shots of me wearing the things I've made and then talk about how I did them and reflect on it at the end of the month. So this was April's sewing and alterations, and next month we're focusing on blouses. So that'll be fun. Well, not next week. No, I said next month, right? I hope I said next month. I'm being rushed because my camera is flashing at me that its battery is gonna die. Yeah, so I hope you liked this video. Next week I don't know, I haven't planned yet. Probably the Love Never Dies analysis I was gonna do, or it'll be the comparison of Stand By Me versus Now and Then in the context of coming of age movies. Whichever one I get to filming or writing first. If you liked this video, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. I will have lipstick on the next video. I painted my nails to match my lipstick, which I'm not wearing. Yeah, and I will see you next week. Bye!